Good morning, colleagues, and welcome to the actual 50th Faculty Research Forum of our faculty. Um, we've been waiting 2 years for this, so welcome, and please take part in the celebrations of, of this year's 50th celebration. Just some practical things before we start. You'll see there's these red CPD forms that's been handed out. Unfortunately, this session is accredited for CPDs, but there's no form for it. So please just write on the side, session 1. If you're staying for clinical as well, write session 1 and session 2. Okay. Practical. Sorry for that. This morning our first lecture will be from our Dean, Prof van Zyl, and to highlight how important this research forum is. Prof van Zyl flew back from a trip abroad, especially to be here today. So thank you, Prof, for going through the travel to actually come back and do that. I also want to welcome our external adjudicators, Prof Argent, Prof Tron, and Prof Strydom, for being here. Thank you very much for your time and for all the effort the next 2 days will take. Special word of welcome also to the representatives of the Department of Health that have indicated that they will attend this year's forum. So to not waste any more time, Prof. Thank you.
Morning, colleagues. It's nice to be back at home. Let me say that first. We started already Tuesday with the student forum, and we had last night also the alumni and ethics lecture. So I wasn't sure if I need to say to you, welcome to the faculty forum, but let me do that officially and then say, welcome to the 50th Faculty Forum. It's actually 3 years that we are waiting for this, Wati. We announced it 3 years ago that in 2 years' time, and then in 2 years' time it was next year, and next year was then we made a mistake with the calculations in 2006. So, yes, we are there, 50 years. So, welcome, colleagues, to this celebration. And I want to start off by actually showing you some balloons, and I hope you've got the feeling that I've got that we've made it for 50 years. I want to start off by saying that life is like the game of life is like a game of boomerangs. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us sooner or later with astonishing accuracy. And I wasn't that clever. It was somebody else that said it, and I quoted that. I want to start off by thanking and welcoming some of our guests that will make this 50th celebrations very special. The 25th lecture of FP Retief, Professor Retief's lecture, and our invited speaker is Professor Tahir Pillay. I haven't seen Tahir yet here, but I'm sure he'll join us at the stage. So in Tahir, I'll introduce also later today. I've seen Andrew here, so Andrew, again, welcome, and thank you for actually being willing to celebrate also with us, and I hope it's a celebration also for you. I've seen Francia already this morning, Francia at the back. Francia, also to you, welcome, and then Grant, I haven't actually said hello to you, but welcome also from my side. I want to say immediately there was extra pressure on the committee this year to do something else. So Wati, to you and your organizing committee, a real welcome. And you need to survive another 48 hours. But I'm sure it will go well. And I've been in part of the committee showing up when I could, and heard what you were planning for this week, so and half of the week is gone already. So well done. A special welcome also to all our distinguished guests. I've seen Dr. Nathan was somewhere. Oh, she's moved now. And some of the other guests I've seen also. So all our distinguished guests, welcome to our Vice Dean, Prof Joyce. Welcome. This is her first forum. Organizing committee I've welcomed already, but just to say again. Then all the heads of schools and our faculty manager, welcome to you. All our invited past heads of the department, our alumni that could actually get up early, because if you're retired, 8 o'clock is probably too early. But if you are here, to all of you that I've invited in person, welcome also. Our sponsors, that's downstairs, and I can actually start off by saying, colleagues, when I read through 50 years of history, without sponsors, we could not have made it. So please actually also support our sponsors over this next 2 days. And then to you all, the staff and the students, I'm sorry that I missed Tuesday's student forum, but I've seen already the winners and I've seen some of the topics, and we'll see them again this afternoon when they present the winners. So to start off talking about our Research Forum 2018, I want to start off with a quote from William Shakespeare that says, "Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them." Now I must say, reading through the history of the faculty, probably the last part is the least important part, because I've seen a lot of greatness, and I want to share some of that greatness with you this morning. So in 2015, I spoke about excellence and being happy. That's when we started building up to our 50th celebrations. I spoke about 2016 about simplicity, and 2017 about relationships. And I want to end off with our 50th celebrations talking about greatness. Now in 2016, I started off with this quote, "In simplicity, you get control of your life." And in 2017, I spoke about how do we deal with relationships. Spoke about respect, commitment, and care. Not care just for our patients, it's important, but also care for one another. And then I want to come back to the greatness of today. And I want to show you why I'm talking about greatness. And I think the greatness lies, if we talk about 50th celebrations, in the actions of normal people that led to the greatness to celebrate 50 years of a faculty forum. With a focus on the forum, I'm going to deal with some of the issues and highlights over the 50 years. One of the early things that I read from all the documentation is, knowledge is power, but wisdom is strength. And I wondered when somebody wrote that as part of the documentation that I worked through to actually share with you the history of the faculty forum, if the person that wrote that knew what will be important, but wisdom is strength. Now I want to talk about wisdom, and there's two missing, myself and Prof Moja, but I think this is a photo important because in the faculty forum, the deans play the important role each and every year in the faculty forum, opening the forum, and there were other things which I will talk about later. Prof Corneels Nel on your left-hand side, then Prof Slabbe, Prof Potgieter, and Prof Retief. Heads of the department, I took some of the photos, and you can see some of the photos are already aged. Yes, because it was 50 years ago. These are some of the heads of the department that were already part of that process. You can actually, the second left top photo, compare Prof Corneels Nel when he was head of the Department of Surgery in those days to the previous photo when he was dean. We all age, deans also. and some others. In 1976, the faculty had 90 publications, and this was increased to 150 in 1977, in a year's time. So this is some of the snippets I want to actually share with you. So it has been done in the past to increase research outputs with 60. Yeah, you'll probably ask, why is this an important photo? Top, on your right-hand side, the second row from the top, you'll see myself in my younger days. All in the history is the greatness. So some of the snippets of our faculty forum. It started in 1968. It started as a clinical year day. And remember, the faculty was not constituted as a faculty as yet. So it was a lot of practitioners that got together, decided that they want to do something for themselves, and they arranged a clinical year day. The John van der Riet Prize was instituted in 1970, and Sama was the driver for that. And we need to acknowledge Sama for the wisdom in establishing a John van der Riet Prize already in 1970. In 1970, they started also a student day, but the student day was in October of that year, and not linked with a faculty forum or the clinical year day, as they called it. In 1971, there was academic year day, so you'll see the name change. And then in 1972, they instituted a Medicos, and I forgot to bring a Medicos with me. It's similar to this 50-year celebration book that we actually, but it was done by some of the registrars. And they wrote some of the notes. And one of the first articles, I'm not sure if anybody's in faculty that were there in 1972, but one of the first articles on the front page is meetings, meetings, meetings. Yeah, it felt familiar. Just to put it in context where we are, in 1974, December, Block C was only handed over to the faculty, so completed. So those of you that are in Block C, when faculty forum started, that building was not there. And I'll show you some pictures just now. So in 1974, they made also a decision that the student day also be in August, and the academic year day, by the way, was on the Saturday. So perhaps we need to open that discussion again. In 1993, Dr. van Velden, that was the head of family medicine, reflects on a student day, actually indicating that the student day prepares our students to do research firstly, and secondly to present at a faculty forum. And I thought it's an important issue to raise this morning, to actually link up also the student forum with a faculty forum. In 1987, they started with the Miller-Potgieter Medal, instituting that. And by the way, in 1979, there were 43 tables for dinner. That was 430 people that attended the dinner. And I'll show you just photos just now. I want to say something about Dr. van der Riet, John van der Riet Medal. Dr. John van der Riet was a general practitioner in Bloemfontein, but involved in SAMA, involved in a lot of issues, and already started together with Dr. De Beer and some others to motivate the government in the 50s to have a faculty. And there were sort of an announcement later on that there will be a faculty of health sciences, but that didn't happen because they used the money for something else. Now that is also probably not news to you, that some of the money that is promised is being used for something else later on. Now the first winner of the John van der Riet Medal is Dr. Loops. And then the second winner and the third year was Dr. De Pierre Lowe. The first chair of organizing committee, so what is the person that actually made the first footprint for you, was Dr. John Barry Figart, the surgeon. The student program indicated the first date that it was formally linked with the faculty forum was the 13th of August 1982. And by the way, the first prize that were given for anybody at the faculty forum was a medical briefcase. And I think the third prize was something like a 30 rands or a 50 rands. Melissa, you can bring it in. Thanks. In 2006, the count was extra. That's where we made our mistake. We had in 2006, in 2005, our 37th faculty forum, and it jumped in 2006 to the 39th, and that's where the mistake came. That we actually thought last year we were our 50th. Now, to show you some of the photos, this is the first forum in 1968. It says think it might have been in this lecture facility. Now, hands up, who can say where's this lecture facility? Hanneke knows, Matthijs knows. Is that all? And Santi? Okay. Yeah, perhaps you don't want to show because of hands. Who was lectured in that facility? I was lectured in that facility. So that facility was in National Hospital. Orthopedic and family medicine used it at a stage later on, but that was the first lecture facility, and I think that might have been also where the first faculty forum was held. That's National Hospital, the front of the National Hospital. This is an old photo. You'll see behind the lady, the green Volkswagen, there's a famous Valiant, and I'll tell you something about the Valiant just now. There's the Valiant again. So whose Valiant is this? Jan, you'll probably know. Prof Retief's. Now, by the way, this is to show you where the faculty is today. And that was taken somewhere in 1967, 68, somewhere there. This was Prof Retief's Valiant, and where the arrow is where the faculty is today. In 1972, just to say to you, this is one of the earlier photos of Block A and B. As I say, close to 1972. On the 20th of March 1978, there was a formal opening of the faculty building. Minister Korenhoff opened it. He was then Minister of Education. We had 400 guests that attended the opening. Prof Benedictus Kok was the Chancellor, and he gave the opening speech. And this function was in the Student Center. Now, the Student Center is not the Student Center now. It's the Student Center where the exam rooms are. That was the Student Center. This was Universitas Hospital, one of the early photos. You can see at the models of cars. There's a Passat and a Mazda. So yeah, Universitas Hospital. And everywhere in the documentation, it's important that Pelanomi and Universitas Hospital played an enormous role also in the faculty forum. One of the dinners, somewhere in the late 70s, and you'll see Prof Retief also without his glasses in front. Prof Potgieter, sorry. And Pelanomi Hospital also in that same time. And each and every time, as I say, Pelanomi was an important site for research. The fate of an institution lies in men and women. I added the women. who works in its halls and in the ideals which they cherish and keep. And that was a William Osler quote, and I think that actually says everything to us. My apologies on behalf of William Osler. In those days, men were everything and nothing else. So that's why I added women, because I'm sure that he would have added women if he lived today and had to requote. In 1990, the symposium, we had a special symposium format for the celebrations of the faculty, 25th celebrations of the faculty. On the 25th celebrations of the Faculty Forum, we had the Retief Lecture instituted in 1994. We had in 1995 the Faculty 25th celebrations then formally. In 2001, we actually split the forum, and a laboratory session was separate to the clinical sessions. And in 2002, we started also with a third session, the educational lectures that were separate. Prof Corneels passed away in February 2003, and the Faculty Management instituted then the Corneels Nel Medal in that faculty forum in 2003, in August. In 2003, Prof Retief did also the Retief lecture, second time after he did it the first time when it was instituted in 1995. This one was dedicated to the life of Prof Corneels Nel. We had a nice time with AstraZeneca. In 2005, they joined us, and for 5 years they sponsored us each and every year our faculty forum till 2010. Some of the guests that attended the faculty forum, not always the Retief lecture, as you remember it was only instituted in 1995, but in 1979, Dr. Johan de Beer, that was also instrumental with John van der Riet, was our guest. In 1980, Chris Barnard was our guest at our faculty forum. I was privileged to attend that faculty forum. By the way, this is my 22nd faculty forum. Prof Koen Slabber, the previous dean, attended in 1985, and Prof Retief in 1986, and Dr. Johan de Beer again in 1990, Prof Kalichiram in 1998, and then in 2002, Dr. Magoba, some of those that I took from the list to highlight that were guests at our faculty forum. Now let me move to the present. Enough about the history, my time is running out. The student winners session, please attend this afternoon, and congratulations to those 3 that won. And I'm not going to spoil the fun, you need to attend. And then the medal winners, the lighthouse of the faculty. First is congratulations to the 2018 John van der Riet medal, Prof Corina Welsh and her team, and there's the title, and I think we need to give her a hand. With, I'm sure, from Corina's side, also acknowledgement to the other authors that participated. The Miller Potgieter medal is to Felicity and her team, so let's give her also a hand. And then the Corneels Nel medal is to Hannes. I'm not sure if Hannes is already gone on his trip. Hanneke, is he gone already? Not yet. So to Hannes and his team, congratulations also. Lessons from looking at the history. I think there's a few that I can share with you. They always look for innovation. They were not afraid of the unknown. Patients were always the focus. Quality academic education was always the foundation, and they were always ready to acknowledge the research of fellow colleagues, acknowledge of those that achieved. For the future, what's my challenge that I want to bring to you before I close off? Keep with innovating things. keep going with your research. Do not be afraid to challenge the academic boundaries. Be visionary about the future. And can I put a challenge at Amy this year? This was the topic to be discussed: digital health and the influence of our practices from the side of digital health. So perhaps just to share something with you. And to reshaping health sciences education for a better future. Be curious. Look at our relationships with students, undergraduate and postgraduate, and work with technology in our environment. It's not good enough to have business as usual if we talk about technology. Be engaged, be involved, and keep asking, what if? Happy birthday. Wati, I'm going to ask yourself and some of the senior management. I see Santi Marlene, if you want to join me, then I'm going to ask them from that side to blow, and then we can blow the candles. Don't you want to join me, colleagues? So may the next 50 years be more than what we can dream. That's my wish for you. Prof Magda, you can join us in front. Chris, come, colleagues. We've got 2 minutes left. So can I ask you, colleagues, I hope you celebrate with us this 50th celebrations. And I want to ask all of you to blow with us also from your side, where you are seated. It's Prof Santi's last faculty forum, so I'll ask her to show the way.
See how
Yes. Yes. So Wati, from my side, thank you very much. And, welcome to all of you and enjoy the 2 days. Thank you, colleagues.